first introduction with Lady Gaga. I was sitting in a froyo shop. Her music video Just Dance just got released and they put it on TV, and I remember looking at it going, who is this artist? I love this. I need to know who it is right now.
I remember that moment being very curious, but like cautiously optimistic about like, who is this artist? I don't know much about her, but I can't look away.
I went home, Googled her name, saw that she was a brand new artist. Her album hadn't even come out yet, and I looked up all her unreleased songs. I binged listened to all of them. Instantly became a fan.
It was a commercial on TV for America's Next Top Model Cycle 12. And I remember there was this commercial and there was this track playing, and I just remember hearing this song and being like, what is that song? Digging in and going through the rabbit hole of like, who is this person? Who is this girl? And wanting to know more and not being able to find very much. And that added to the mystique of it all.
When her debut album released on August 18, 2008, I walked to my nearby record store. I went in to buy her record. They only had one CD, and I bought the one and only copy that the record store had.
So my mother's a really big fan of just like any artist that's kind of considered weird. So back when Gaga first released, I believe it was Just Dance, my mother immediately got into it and she's like, I think you're gonna really like this. And I really connected with it. Bad Romance came out and then I immediately was like, okay, yeah, this is like someone I'm gonna like my entire life.
Gaga's work is her play with duality and her unwillingness to dilute anything about herself in order to make another part of herself seem authentic. I love the Lady and the Gaga and the way that those contradict and contrast, the elegant, the manic, and just taking that lesson that both can be true into my life and finding parts of myself that I may have thought were contradictory and couldn't exist within each other, and living that way as an adult in San Francisco. This is one of those places where you can really learn to try to be anything, and I've just felt so excited and empowered and vibrant living my life to a lot of Gaga music in the background.
Seeing this person well over 10 years become more and more accepting of herself and all, I guess, the flaws. It made me be okay with my flaws and to kind of realize that being yourself is honestly the only thing that matters. That's the first love you'll ever have, will always be loving yourself. If somebody I know is not gonna really accept it, then I know that at least Lady Gaga will.
So Little Monster originated from The Fame Monster, because The Fame Monster was her second album. It's just us coming together as a community. We would just put our hands up, and we were like her little monster, so we called them our paws. She would say, put your paws up. We put our paws up. This is one of the best fandoms that's out there. She means something so special to each and every person you talk to. She's inspired so many people. I know so many people who have also pursued a career in dance or artistry or drag, and it's all because of Lady Gaga, and we proudly call ourselves Little Monsters.
We're monsters. To me, it just means like always being kind to people, expressing yourself however you want to, like whether you dress up or not, accepting others, and then listening to her music, of course.
Throughout life, I've definitely made a lot of friends, whether or not they were at a Gaga show or just through life. We kind of realized that we both were monsters, and then there's this like instant chemistry of like you get it with someone when you kind of hold that monster claw up and they know what you mean and they recognize it and they do it back. That just like body language of like, I got you, monster, is just something that I find really fun, and we just become instant friends.
We understand each other. We understand what it's like to not feel heard or feel seen or, feel like an outcast in society. And by being a little monster, we created this community where, as Born This Way said, it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, like we're all born this way and we're all one.
It's a layered experience of like how I understand myself, where do I see my community with other people, and how we're here to relate and support people who might not be like us, but we all have this similar feeling that we might not have fully belonged.
We love you.
I didn't really have a relationship with my family. I guess it sounds kind of parasocial in a way, but I didn't feel like I knew Lady Gaga, but her music felt like family to me. Like just as a kid, I listened to her music, and especially Born This Way. It brought this sense of connection and family that I wasn't getting every day. Just listening to it, I just feel so at peace. And then the fandom, all these people who feel the exact same way. There's all these people that have gone through the same thing as me. They love her music the same as me. They understand her messages and her values. Her music just has such a huge community that it just creates a family.
As a woman, we're constantly told from when we were a kid. You have to dress this way, you have to act this way. You can't do this because men will think this and men will see that. And everything's always surrounded about what everyone else thinks of us, and why not what we think. And so when you have a powerful singer like Lady Gaga be unapologetically herself, it inspires you and motivates you to hold the same values for yourself. I know she fights really hard for everyone to be heard and be seen.
I think there's such a fun joy that I'm super glad that I've gotten to experience of being aware of who Gaga is since the Fame, to like have seen this evolution over all these years of not knowing where she's gonna go and have her tell us where she's gonna go rather than have anybody else tell her where she's gonna go and where she wants to put out music and how she wants to create art.
Before her, we had like Queen and Michael Jackson and all these like other gay icons. And to have a female pop gay icon, it's just like amazing that like she's touched so many people. We've had many more like gay icons and like the people that in the gay community love and connect to, that people even outside of the gay community love and connect to, and it brings everyone together. She's one of those people that like gay people and straight people love, that like just like connects everyone.
Hello, San Francisco. Are you ready to celebrate yourself tonight?
She's 5 years older than me, and so I kind of see her as like a big sister sort of figure, where it's like she's kind of going through a lot of the things that I'm gonna think about in my life a little bit earlier, and by the time she's reflected on it and creates music for it, I can kind of use a lot of those lessons learned in my life.
I'm transgender. A big part of my experience is feeling like I kind of have to be like something else that like other people don't want me to be. It's really hard to like accept yourself when you're like first figuring out that you're trans, especially like listening to her song Born This Way. I just remember feeling if someone like her can support me, then like I'm doing the right thing, being myself. She's a good person. I just think it really helps people like that. You don't feel like you can be yourself. Being able to listen to that and know that like there's people like her that do support you and make music about just being yourself and being true to yourself, it just feels really good.
Unfortunately, some parents are not as accepting of their kids and like with their sexuality, and I think that my mother has always been a person that's always told me it doesn't matter, like we'll love you no matter what. Sharing that concert, her screaming Born This Way, I was just so happy. It meant the world to me, just kind of realizing that I have the support from my family always, and I think knowing that Gaga was able to make me get closer to my mother, it really meant a lot to me.
I came here with my partner. I probably listened to thousands and thousands of hours of just him talking about how much he loves Lady Gaga. I only know a lot about her because of him. It's really important to me, his happiness, and like it brings me joy to see him see someone he looks up to. In a way, I look up to her because I feel like she saved him in a lot of ways, because he just had like a really hard life. This is just like the thing he deserves the most, to see her.
I prefer artists that have so much like diversity and variety. I think it says a lot about her that she is like a true artist. She just loves music, and that's what's important to her, is just making music. And it's not about fitting like a mold, it's about like making what she wants to make.
I remember getting super into the Fame and then being really excited when the Fame Monster was announced and when Bad Romance came out. I remember being in college when the VMAs, the 2009 happened, and she performed Paparazzi, and I remember people at college being like, I don't know like who this girl is and why she's doing this blood stuff on the stage, and being like secretly in the corners like, you just don't get it. But I'm not going to say that to you, because that's not how you make friends in college.
When Born This Way came out, it was around 2010, and the gay marriage debate was like hot topic in the country. We had Prop 8 in California, which was we were voting to ban gay marriage. It was a very contentious like topic for our politics. I just remember like meeting so many people where her song Born This Way felt like we were being heard for the first time, like someone understood us, like we feel seen, we feel validated, and that like you can't vote our rights away, you can't just wish us away or sweep us under the rug. And she was always outspoken about fighting for equal rights. She played at San Francisco Pride many years ago. Even up till today, when trans rights are at a risk, Lady Gaga has always stood up and said, this is something that I'm never gonna waver on and that I believe in.
Towards the end of college was when Born This Way came out, and that album solidified the deal for me of just like who I was, me, and exploring myself and understanding myself. And I felt like that album, I was such the target audience for that, and it felt so special to be so seen and reflected in a piece of art by such a big pop artist. To have something like that go #1 that is so relevant to my lived experience and my perspective of how the world looks or could be. That song and that album really, really, really impacted just how I see myself, how I see Gaga, how I see the world, and how I want to carry myself through life. I remember hearing that song, Born This Way, when it premiered on the radio at midnight, and just like being in the living room with my headphones and crying when I heard that chorus for the first time. And at the time, for context, I wasn't out. I was out to myself, but no out to anyone else. And so I just remember hearing those words on the radio and just knowing the power that that had for me, and ultimately realizing the power that that would have in so many other people's experience.
Cheers to your freedom, your pride, and yes,
during the pre-art pop era and up through art pop, and seeing all the different ways that that album finally materialized, and being super excited, confused, manic. It was all just like a blur of color and fun and art and dance, and that's when I finally started also coming out to people. And I felt like I took a lot of that energy and power that I kind of learned about myself during the Born This Way era of my life and applied that to my life moving forward. And then moving to San Francisco, I definitely carried it with a different lens of how I wanted to navigate being out as a gay man in the world and in San Francisco, and have now been in the city for 10 years.
To Joanne, and then even like Chromatica and Joanne, they're both so different than her first stuff.
The comparisons, like the mirroring those two, I think it was really cool going from like raves, like this rave monster, to someone with just a guitar and a hat just down the road. When you think of Gaga, you think like the meat dress, you think of just all of the considered crazy things, and then looking at that, I was like, this is so cool seeing somebody be so like with themselves again, to be like more accepting of just everything else about them. She was more raw, and I really think that that was something I really loved to see from an artist like that. Going from like A Star Is Born and then Joker, from that I was like, we're back, and I was so excited.
There's just a lot of little hooks and bits of candy that I know are references to Bad Romance, little lyrics from art pop, little details from Joanne. There's just so many little bits and pieces that you can tell she put it knowing that the fans would dissect it.
love is just a history that may be proven when you're gone. I'll tell them my religion's you and
Mayhem feels like a full circle moment for a lot of us. Musicality wise, she's returning back to her roots of electro disco pop, but with almost like a darker motif, like the really goth kind of dark theme. And it really ties into her previous albums of like the famed Monster, and it almost feels like a continuation of that story that she was trying to tell. But on top of that, it just feels like she really knows who she is now. She's fully herself as not just a person, but as an artist and as an act. And we can see it in the songs that are on Mayhem. We can see it in the music videos that she's creating. And we definitely see it in the performances that she's putting on this tour.
lion on the hunt for this kitten over here. This kitten over here. The bars get dry and you're staring at the sunlight.
I'm just super curious to see how she continues to explore Mayhem and its different motifs in how she constructs tonight's show.
She has this vision and she is now playing it out at 100% the way she's always realized it. As an OG fan, it is awesome to see.
When I'm at a Gaga concert, there's no other place that I can imagine I'd want to be in the world, and that's happened every time. So it's just this feeling that I know I can never bottle up, but when I do have access to it, I'm definitely going to lean and try to have those moments, because they only come so often, and I want to appreciate them while I got them.
At first, a lot of people were like, why are you doing arenas? And then after watching that show, I'm like, this is an arena show. Like, this is like a theater experience. Like, it's an opera show. Having the constant nods to opera and the fandom of the opera, I think it was really amazing. And because immediately, like, when you look at her live recently, it's like, wow, you are a theater kid deep down, and it's so cool because I'm a theater kid. So watching her kind of connect to that root, I was like, this is awesome. I've never seen an artist of this generation do a show like this.
I was super excited when she announced it that it was an arena tour. I had been so excited, hoping she would ever play the Chase Center, to like have that moment where I don't know how often she'll be able to do a tour like this where she does so many arena shows. I kind of thought that era of her doing that might have been over, and so to have another chance to see her in an arena tour and see her at the Chase Center for the first time was why I wanted to also be at the first night of this one, because it's like her debut at the Chase. So I was super excited to see and be at tonight's show. I know there's a lot of like early pictures of Gaga when she was just starting out of her in San Francisco. I know there's this one picture of her on Maiden Lane right in front of the building that Frank Gehry designed the staircase. And I know there's videos of her performing in 2008, like at San Francisco Pride. There's something for me that I always think about of like, you just don't know who the next person is who has that fire inside them, who's just walking on the street in this city. This city can act as an incubator where people feel empowered to kind of let their freak flag fly and explore their authentic self. I think there's just something in this town that really grabs your heart and holds onto it and lets it grow.
It meant a lot knowing that she keeps coming back here no matter what. A lot of artists sometimes skip the Bay, just knowing that she's keeps coming back, and even multiple times. That shows that she really cares.
I was actually at the show on Tuesday night, and she did a speech about how much she loves San Francisco and how pre-Fame days, this is where she went, just playing in small bars and little venues. And I actually remember those days. I remember when she played at the Mezzanine. I remember when she played at this little bar, and unfortunately I was underage, so I couldn't go, but she wasn't famous yet. So I told my older sister, hey, there's this artist named Lady Gaga. She's super cool. She's playing at this tiny little bar in San Francisco for $15. You should go. She paid $15 cash, walked right up to the stage, and it was just this unknown Lady Gaga wearing her whole costume, just rocking it out. I knew she was gonna be so big. Her ties to San Francisco is so special. I'm born and raised Bay Area, and so this place has a special place in my heart, and it's so nice that Lady Gaga has a special place in her heart for San Francisco as well.
So I would just like to thank you for some beautiful shows in San Francisco. Thank you. I always come to San Francisco to exhale on tour, because if I was not being accepted in one city, I would come here, and you always accepted me here. And I'll never forget the first time that I came to San Francisco. I was doing 3 or 4 shows a night, not sleeping, and some places that I went, they just didn't understand me, but not here. So thank you for taking care of me, San Francisco.
I wouldn't say dear mother, but that's really in my head. I'm like, I need to say it.
Love to the lady, love to the Gaga. To a kindness punk with a diamond heart, I share my thanks for pop and art. I'm on the edge, these paws are high, showing my teeth for Princess Di. We're beautiful, dirty, and rich. We give applause to the free. This monster heart beats hard and true. This monster's love rains down for you. Thank you for the art and love, your little monster, Eddie Vega.
Thank you for everything. Like, she has saved my life. So when I thought that it was time to go, I just immediately turned to her on and I was like, no, it's not, don't go yet. And then watching all of the videos of her just meeting people and they would be in pain, she'd be like, it doesn't matter, I love you no matter what, even if I can't necessarily speak to you. And I would just say like, thank you and I love you so much. The love that you have is amazing, and I'm just so glad that after your whole career you're still giving that love and even more.
There's just hundreds of things that I could say to her. I love her as a person. I love her music. I love her art. And I think what she does is really important. She probably knows that, but I don't know if she really knows how her fans feel.
I would say to her that I love the message she gives out to people and the people that she brings together. She's made an amazing community just being herself. It's just like so deep that she does that. Her whole message is that she loves everybody and everyone can be whatever you can be. And I love that she has so much diversity in her music, and I think that's just really beautiful.
She inspired me to be the person that I am today. She is literally my biggest inspiration and motivation in this world. I have lived an amazing life so far as a professional dancer and performer. I've traveled the world dancing, and it's all because of her, and I just want to thank her. I just want to thank her for being herself, for sharing her art and her music. She's so special to all of us, and if I can give her a big hug, then I would.